just got our faces stomped in Rogue Dungeons. Again! Let's talk about it.
What does that even mean, Bowers Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube!
We are back again today for another game review, another special tag team review, here with my 9-year-old son, Shaun.
Hello!
And we're going to be talking about Rogue Dungeon from Cerberus Gate Games. This is for 1 to 3 players with a special add-on pack they were nice enough to send, but just the base box is for 1 players. Age is 12 plus. It'll take about 30 to 60 minutes to play. And in Rogue Dungeon, this is the Game Crafter Spotlight game this month, which means every month I do a different Game Crafter game. We do a setup video, an unboxing, a gameplay, and then a review at the end of the month. I do get paid for this, but it's still going to be a totally honest opinion. If you want to see any of those other videos, in particular how to play, click on one of the links up here. This is going to be more of our thoughts on the game, but I will give you a brief description. Rogue Dungeon is a dungeon crawler where you're attempting to get through 5 different levels of the dungeon, and as you progress down further, you're going to deal with different levels of monsters, you're going to be collecting treasure, you're going to be having encounters and going through the dungeon and doing all sorts of skill checks and leveling yourself up and all sorts of dungeon crawly style things. The game also has a really cool card system where the monsters, like if you roll special things, they'll do certain special abilities as you progress through the dungeon. There's a lot of cool stuff going on. Like I said, if you want to know exactly how the game plays, go check out the gameplay video. Because there is a lot going on in this game. There's tons of cards, and the cards do all sorts of different things, but that's a pro, so we'll talk about that in the pros. Let's get to the pros and cons. So starting off with the cons, you had one that I think is definitely going to agree with.
It's too stinking hard.
It is a very difficult game. Now, granted, the first 1.5 times it played, we did incorrectly with the skill rolls and made it more difficult. But the game itself is still insanely difficult, both solo and multiplayer. And
the bosses are even harder.
And part of the reason why this is the way it is the game essentially forces you to try and go through every single room of the dungeon. Because you need to go through every room of the dungeon, presumably, to get the experience, to level yourself up, to get the weapons, so you can trade different things and meet the traders and do this and do all these different things to just have a chance at the final boss. But by doing that, it kind of... I'm not a fan of that, making me go through everything. Like, I don't want to go through everything. Maybe I want to play as, like, a sneaky rogue who just tries to sneak by everything and then, weasels their way out of the dungeon. You want to play like that? Is that going to be possible? No. You're going to get your face absolutely trampled in dungeon 4, 5, and then by the boss at the end. That is, so you can't play the game the way you want to play it, which really stinks because they have a whole bunch of unique special characters with different asymmetrical abilities, with different this and different that, and there's, some different choices to be made, but it's all a little bit of an illusion. You have to play through everything, or nearly everything, if you're going to have any chance to survive, because once you start, because there's this cool board, and this is more on the pros, and you level yourself up on this board, but if you're actually getting to the higher levels, you need just insane amounts of experience, which you can only get through going through the rooms. And I wasn't the biggest fan of that. Also, rule booklet, it's not bad, but it's not good. It could really use a fresh coat of paint. Maybe some reorganization here or there. Trying to find some things can be annoying from time to time. And especially the 2 and 3 player variants needs more robust rules. Because essentially it's like 1.5 paragraphs. They're like, oh yeah, there's a couple minor changes, but then there's a lot of these like little teeny things where it's like, well, what do we do here? How does this one work? Do we both roll? Does this both happen? And it's not a huge deal, but it would have been nice if there was a more robust 2 and 3 player rule set. Yeah. Any other cons that we have with the game before we get on to the pros?
Not really.
I do say, I think if you play this over and over again, and there's lots of different roles, and you might want to experience all the different characters and their abilities, you are going to start to see the same things over and over again. I think this, don't get me wrong, I don't think there's a bad variety of cards. Yeah. But compared to other dungeon crawler games we've played, the replayability is, it's not affected in a really negative way, but it's the kind of thing where you're just going to start seeing repeats. Yeah. And, that's not the end of the world, but it's one of those games that I kind of want an expansion for in the future. That'd be nice. And maybe there is. So, any other thing in this game? The toughness, anything you didn't like, I should say. Because I think I'm out.
Me too.
All right, moving on to the pros. I think we both like Rogue Dungeon, right?
Yeah.
Recommend it.
Yeah. I also really like the artwork. Like.
Yeah, so let's talk about the pros. First thing, yeah, artwork. And lots of different distinct cards, lots of different distinct monsters. Once again, I said you're going to run into issues with variety, not so much with the monsters, just what you're generally doing. But the monsters are all unique, and they have certain things that you can charm them with. There's lots of cool concepts in this game.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Well, so, what's your favorite thing about this game? Like, if you just had to pick one thing that you like the most about this game, what would it be? Is it how you level up your character, the character progression? Is it the combat?
Experiencing all this stuff.
Exploring the rooms. And I will agree with him there. Going through all the different rooms is a lot of fun, which is why, that's why I say I worry a little bit, because you're going to see these rooms after your second, third, fourth game, then you're just going to see them over and over and over again, which could potentially make the game, I guess, a little bit easier if you knew might be coming potentially, but I don't know.
Yeah, like, we had this dark room last game we played.
Yeah, and we had a couple things that popped up the last game we played.
Yeah, like the gold deposits.
And it's not the end of the world, but it would be nice if it wasn't happening so routinely. Because, same thing. Well, with boss monsters, if you even get to this, there's like 6 of them. So you could hit a different one every time. But with rooms, you're probably going to see the same ones over and over again.
Yeah.
Also, treasure cards. I will say treasure cards. There's a lot of repeats on that. But still, I think that, there was a really good variety of treasure cards. And I think, honestly... The treasure cards is partially where this game excels, because they're like, this is a huge stack of treasure cards. And there's lots and lots of treasure cards. And they're all different. Like, this is charming a cobra. This one's a warhammer, a torch, a lucky shield, a this, a that. And it's fun to get the loot. I will say the loot in this game is something I really like. I enjoyed getting loot more than I enjoyed leveling up. I didn't think the leveling up was super satisfying.
There's too much XP. Like.
Well, it does cost a lot once you get to the
after you get past 6, 12, 16, 20, 25.
Yeah. But once again, that kind of goes back to the con of just how hard it is. And if that doesn't bug you, then this one definitely, I think, is gonna be one you might enjoy a little bit more.
If you like big challenges, I'd recommend this game.
I would agree with that. So great artwork, okay rule booklet. It's pretty easy to teach once you know what's going on. The core gameplay loop is very simple. You move your piece on the little map tile. Yep. You flip open a door card. A lot of times you're going to fight something.
Sometimes you use your abilities.
And then you go about your merry way and you repeat it over and over and over again. And in the end, I like Rogue Dungeon, and I know that Shaun would like us to keep it, so he wants to keep playing it solo from time to time.
I want to use all those different characters.
Now, I want you to give this one a number, though, since we're reviewing. I always like to give it a number. I normally say 7's good, 8's great, 9's fantastic, 10's like one of the best games of all time, one of your favorite games ever. 6 is, it's okay, 5, it's meh, 4, I'm starting not to like it, but I don't think I need to tell you anymore, because I think you're higher than that.
Yeah,
so where would you put this? The good, I'm assuming you're leaning towards good or great.
I'm leaning in somewhere between 7 or 8.
So you say 7.5?
Yeah, sure.
I think 7.5 is actually right about where I was going to squeeze it in as well. I think this has the potential to be great with an expansion in the future with more cards, more variety, more variability.
More this, more that, more that, more that, more that, and more this.
But I still think the engine itself, the core Rogue Dungeon, is a good to very good thing. It is limited a little bit because it's only solo.
Yeah.
But if you get the 2 and 3 player expansion, and that's the other thing. So that's another con. When you add more players, the time, it felt like it took us a really long time to get to that game.
Yeah, it's 60 minutes. We took
way longer than 60 minutes. And I think we took longer than 60 minutes the first time, too. No, we were at 54 minutes. So I will say that 30 to 60 minutes is a little
off.
Well, once you know how to play, maybe, and you had it all, But anyway, I think we're both around 7.5.
Yeah.
Rogue Dungeon. We like it. We recommend it, but it's not going to be for everybody. If this looks like it might be your cup of tea, be sure to check that one out. Also, if you stuck around this long, well, congratulations. You have an opportunity to win a $25 gift card if you follow these simple instructions. So first and foremost, Jason Velez was the winner of the last $25 Game Crafter gift card, so I'm going to reach out to him. But if you would like to enter to win this $25 Game Crafter gift card, you need to click on the Board Game Geek down below, go to that video, click thumb on that video, and then leave any comment. And if you leave a comment on that, in roughly 2 weeks, you might have an opportunity to win another $25 GameCrafter gift card. It's that super simple. GameCrafter was nice enough to hook us up with them, and so you can get it.
Yeah, you could even just type in hi.
You could type in hi. But that is Rogue Dungeon. If you want to leave a comment below, help tickle the YouTube algorithm, what's your question for the fine people down below?
If you could add one character and one ability, what would it be?
I don't think they've played this game.
Oh, yeah, no,
so let's just do character, and we'll give them a mindset of what characters there are. There's the Crusader. That's the other thing. There's the double-sided player cards.
Male and female.
Male and female, which I know is that's really cool. I like that a lot. So we have Elf Ranger, Dwarf Miner, Sorceress, the Monk, the Crusader, the Aristocrat, the Rogue. What role would you want to add?
I would like to add a friendly demon.
Friendly demon? Okay. I'd like to add a scout who could maybe peek at what the top card of the rooms are. Then you could prepare, and you might level up different experience or different things like that.
Also the friendly demon, it could charm a demon.
That'd be pretty powerful. But let me know in the comments below, or you could even leave that on the Board Game Geek one. Oh, we should ask for them to do that. Oh well, it's too late. But as always, thanks for your time, YouTube. This video is brought to you by all of my amazing Patreon supporters, and I would love it if you would join their ranks and have your name immortalized in the end of many of my videos for the end of time. But consider for only $1 a month, and as always, thanks for stopping by.